A little bit ago, I made a video about transit on Utica Avenue and how it could be improved. I went into detail about the MTA's Utica Avenue Transit Improvement Study, where the Transit Authority came up with 3 plans to improve transit on Utica Avenue. The plans were to convert the B46 Select bus service to a bus rapid transit, convert it to a light rail transit, or completely construct an elevated or underground subway line. In my video, I came to the conclusion that the MTA should make a Utica Avenue subway extension. But how in the world will this Utica Avenue subway line even work? Let's talk about it. Before we jump into today's video, make sure you sign the petition at the top of the description below. The petition addresses the MTA's Utica Avenue Transit Improvement Study. Ever since 2020, the project has been paused and it appears that almost nothing happened. It would be a pity for this project to get canned like most of the MTA's other projects. This petition demands the MTA release the next crucial part, the Utica Avenue Transit Improvement Study. Make sure you all check the petition out and consider giving it a sign. Also, check out Black Mind on Instagram, who contributed to the petition. Without further ado, onto today's video. Let's jump straight into the MTA's 2 main possibilities for a subway line under Utica Avenue. In the MTA's presentation, their 2 options for a Utica Avenue subway was an extension from the existing Eastern Parkway 2, 3, 4, and 5 line, or the Fulton Street A and C subways. At the Utica Avenue stop on both of these lines, there are provisions that allows for such an extension. The A and C train stop have an upper level that is positioned sort of diagonally, making it parallel to Utica Avenue. And the 3 and 4 train stop have bell mouths on the local tracks on the lower Manhattan bound platform and the upper New Lots Avenue bound platform. The station was also intentionally built off of Utica Avenue, which explains why it has no exits to said avenue. Let's start with the A and C trains at Fulton Street. As I just mentioned, there is an upper level which was built for a future Utica Avenue station. The original plan from the 1939 IND second system called for a new line to run near the BMT Broadway line in Brooklyn on South 4th Street. Then it would turn south running at Stuyvesant Avenue. Then at the Fulton Street station, it would use that upper level for a stop and then finally curve onto Utica Avenue and run down to Marine Park. Now this is an old plan and it does require a new subway line. But in the MTA's Utica Avenue study presentation, it describes their plan as an extension from the existing Fulton Street subway. Now when I read this, it leads me to believe that they are referring to the A and C trains running along Utica Avenue. So this might be an entirely new plan. Yes, the Utica Avenue stop on Fulton Street has the unfinished station above it, but it just doesn't seem possible to make A and C trains use this upper level to run on Utica Avenue. First things first, the upper platform is an upper platform, and the A and C's platform are directly underneath it. I'm assuming they'll have to make a junction from the A and C's tracks that will rise up, going around the other tracks, and then connecting to the upper level. But this isn't really a good idea because trains would have to make really sharp turns to get up there, resulting in slower speeds of the trains. It's basically a reincarnation of the 5 train at 149th Street Grand Concourse. Secondly, the platforms aren't even long enough. The track map has all the evidence right there, so the platforms would need to be extended. But that won't even matter unless you get trains from the existing tracks on Fulton Street up there first. So in conclusion, if the MTA wants to send A and C trains down Utica Avenue, they just can't use this upper platform. Maybe a platform south of the station or underneath the station might be able to work better, but from the looks of it, the A and C trains just can't use it. However, this isn't even the full story. Let's just say that it is possible to send A and C trains down Utica Avenue. Let's pretend that the C train turns south at the Fulton Street stop and then runs on Utica Avenue, thus serving passengers in Flatlands, Marine Park, and Kings Plaza. Sounds cool, right? Well, you're actually wrong. The Fulton Street line extends way farther than Utica Avenue. Sending either the A and C to Utica Avenue will just completely leave the rest of the Fulton Street line, Ozone Park, and Far Rockaway hanging. And no, this can't be solved with running more A and C trains because there are other parts of the subway system that have constraints to the amount of trains that can run. So this might not even be possible without adding an extra subway line. The Fulton Street line is already facing a lot of criticism from passengers with the amount of branches that it has in Queens. So adding a branch at Utica Avenue will just limit performance on the lines and would just make it generally worse. So once again, if the MTA somehow figures out a way to send trains from the Fulton Street line down Utica, there would just need to be a new subway line, or else A and C train riders that are located east of Utica Avenue are going to suffer. Adding another branch on the Fulton Street line is just not feasible whatsoever. Now onto the 3 and 4 trains at the Crown Heights Utica Avenue station. As I stated a million times, there are bell mouths on both levels on the local tracks, which would allow local trains to run south on Utica. Now of course, this does mean the 3 train will have to run on Utica Avenue. Personally, I wish the 4 train ran on Utica Avenue. After all, the 4 is the one that ends at Utica. So it just makes sense for the 4 to be the one getting the extension, but sadly, that's just how it is. So while the 3 runs on Utica, the 4 can run to new lots. Construction wise, a Utica Avenue line off of Eastern Parkway already seems more possible than the A and C, because all that really needs to be done is some excavation or the boring of some tunnels. If you look further down Utica Avenue, if the line does have to transition to be elevated, like what the MTA mentions in their presentation, a location for a portal will have to be identified. This may be unavoidable because of the conditions underground, as there are high water tables and fragile soil. Now, an extension from Eastern Parkway isn't just sunshine and rainbows. There are a couple of problems here too. Sending the 3 here will remove it from having access to its yard, which is Livonia Yard, located at New Lots Avenue. Now, the Utica Avenue line, if it's built from Eastern Parkway, I assume it will be built with some tracks for storage purposes, but Livonia is where the 3 gets inspections and maintenance. So there's going to have to be a yard that supports those things on Utica, unless the 2, 4, or 5 go there, since their yards are in the Bronx. The second issue revolves on the capacity limits. 3 trains normally run every 7, 8, 9 minutes, something like that, and that might not be enough trains to serve Utica Avenue. Obviously, in order to solve this issue, there would need to be more 3 trains running, but that might be a struggle because, you guessed it, the Rogers Avenue Junction. I talked about the Rogers Junction quite a bit on my channel, but one possible fix is to reconstruct the entire junction, and the other is to reroute the lines with new switches added. Honestly, I don't really care what they do to fix the junction. If it's going to allow trains to run better, then just go ahead with it. In the end, there are a lot of things going for a Utica Avenue extension from Eastern Parkway. The Utica Avenue study includes many improvements to the Eastern Parkway line, which could fix issues like the Rogers Junction and subway car storage with such an extension. Furthermore, modern proposals for a Utica Avenue subway depicts an extension from Eastern Parkway, which leads me to believe that it is just more favored. We have the original 1960s proposals for expanding the subway. There's former Mayor Bill de Blasio's 1 NYC plan, which included it, and we have the RPA's Save Our Subways report from 2018. And of course, you guys already know, I prefer the extension from Eastern Parkway as well. But that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to check out my Discord and Instagram. The link should be on screen. And also check out my second channel. The link for that is in the description. Don't forget to check out the petition. It's in the description as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one, and peace out.